Hey guys, my name is Evan and welcome to Economics 101, your number one source for everything economics. What if I told you the biggest constitutional debate in America right now could also become a major economic story? Because suddenly people everywhere are asking one question. Could Donald Trump actually get a third term as president? And depending on who you ask, the answer is either absolutely impossible or technically more complicated than people think. Today, we're going to break down what the Constitution actually says, whether any loopholes exist, and why markets and investors are paying attention. Before we jump into the video, I do have a quick favor that really helps grow the channel. If you enjoy simplified economics, market breakdowns, and political analysis without all the confusing jargon, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps more than you think. Now let's dive in. Why the U.S. has term limits in the first place. Okay, that's where we're going to start. The United States didn't always have presidential term limits. For most of American history, presidents simply followed the example set by George Washington, stepping down after two terms. But everything changed when Franklin D. Roosevelt, FDR, won four elections. So he won the elections in 1932, 36, 40, and 44. That led many politicians to worry about too much executive power. Okay. So in 1951, America passed the 22nd Amendment. It says no president can be elected, no person can be elected president more than twice. And on the surface, that sounds pretty clear. But here's where the debate starts getting interesting. There's a loophole. Okay. The loophole that a lot of people talk about. Some theorists point to very technical wording. The amendment says no person shall be elected to office of the president more than twice. Notice the wording of it. Okay, elected. Elected is the word that a lot of people try to play on or create a loophole around. Okay, so that's where some people speculate about theoretical scenarios. Okay, becoming vice president first, then ascending to presidency or challenging the amendment legally. Now, to be clear, most constitutional people believe a third term is extremely unlikely and unconstitutional. I don't think Donald Trump will be serving a third term, and I do think it's unconstitutional. But in politics, even the discussion itself can create uncertainty, and uncertainty matters economically because markets hate unpredictability. Okay, whenever political uncertainty rises, investors tend to get nervous. Treasury markets react, volatility increases. So it's a lot of things surrounding political uncertainty. And like I said before, I don't think realistically we can expect Donald Trump to see a third term. But we've already seen years where election uncertainty has moved pretty much everything in our economy. Okay, you have uncertainty that has caused bond yields to react, oil prices to react, defense stocks to react. If investors believe a constitutional battle was coming, you could see higher market volatility, slower corporate investment, weaker consumer confidence, and that's because pretty much everything in our economy operates around stability. Whenever that stability is interrupted, that's when we have problems. The more uncertainty around leadership, courts, taxes, or regulation, the more cautious companies become. And remember, markets price in future expectations, not just what's happening at this moment, not current events. Okay. Um, Now imagine this actually became a legal challenge. It would almost certainly end up in the Supreme Court, right? That alone could create months of political tension. And here's the bigger issue, even with that. If Americans begin questioning constitutional limits themselves, confidence in institutions could weaken. That matters economically because confidence affects spending. Spending affects GDP, and GDP affects jobs. And job affects all markets. Okay. So political stability is one of America's biggest economic advantages globally. When that stability gets questions, investors notice everywhere. Okay, real quick, real quick pause. If you want more breakdowns like this covering the economy, markets, inflation, politics, and what it all means for everyday Americans like you and me, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications. New videos, I drop new videos every week, um, and I want you to stay updated on everything that's happening in our economy. Let's hop back into it. So let's talk about, could the Constitution actually be changed in this situation? Technically, yes. Realistically, absolutely not. It's extremely. I'm not gonna say absolutely not. Realistically, it's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult to repeal or modify the 22nd Amendment. You would need 2/3 Congress and approval from 3/4 of the United U.S. states. That's an economic political hurdle that I don't think anybody's going to be willing to go through. In today's polarized environment, it's almost impossible. All right. But the fact this conversation keeps resurfacing tells you something important. Americans are becoming increasingly divided over institutions, executive power, and the future direction of this country. And investors are watching all of this closely. All right. So to break this all down and put it together, so can Trump really get a third term? That's the bottom line question. Legally, no. But politically, economically, and culturally, the debate itself is becoming a major story. All right. And sometimes markets react not to what will happen, but to what might happen. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know in your comments. Should presidential term limits ever change in America? And remember, this channel is all about making um, markets, and policy understandable for everyone. This is Economics 101, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.